I want to welcome in CEO of GETTR and former senior advisor to President Trump, Jason Miller. Jason, welcome back to the program. Do you agree with me we'll lose momentum if they start going down this road, caving to the Democrats on this?
Grant, absolutely, and this is why I always tell people they have to watch your opening monologues every single night. You hit the nail on the head. If Republicans were to come out and say, you know what, let's go ahead and raise the age to 21, the headline is not going to be Republicans take magnanimous stand and find a way to bring people together. The headline in the New York Times the next day would be Republicans admit that they have failed by raising the age to which you have to be to own a gun. And that's why I thought President Trump was so important last week, what he said when he actually stood up at the NRA convention and had very strong language about what we need to do about these sickos who go and commit these shootings, but he had a very strong defense of the Second Amendment. In a week where a lot of people were running, who had magical scheduling conflicts that came up, who ran for the tall grass, didn't know what to say, President Trump looked more presidential than the guy currently living in the White House.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And he stood firm for the Second Amendment there, and he's been a great defender of our gun rights as well over the years while he was in office. Jason, you worked with President Trump in Washington. What is it about establishment members of the GOP, guys like Adam Kinzinger, guys like, sadly, I'm even now throwing John Cornyn on this list. Lindsey Graham has waffled back and forth on this. Mitch McConnell, of course. What is it about these guys? They feel like they have to appease their left-wing counterparts.
Well, it's even a little bit more direct than that. Who they're trying to appease are the people they're going to see at lunch, whether it be at the Capitol Hill Club or Capitol Grill or one of the dinner parties around Washington, D.C. They're looking at how they're going to be treated by Democrats and members of the media and not thinking about their constituents or the Constitution. President Trump, since he didn't come up from that system, he could care less about going to lunch or dinner or palling around with folks in Washington. He's standing up for our constitutional rights. There's a massive difference in this, and that's why the folks in D.C. have never quite got it. They run around, they're like lemmings going off the cliff, and President Trump is essentially free from being trapped in that sort of logic.
I wish that Republicans in Washington, and there are some that really don't care what the Washington Post thinks or the New York Times thinks, but there are many that think somehow they're going to be liked someday by the writers at the Washington Post. It's never going to happen. I think one of those guys is Adam Kinzinger. Listen to what he had to say about gun control.
We have to be coming to the table with ways to mitigate 18-year-olds buying these guns and walking into schools. My side's not doing that. My side's not coming forward with reasonable ways to defend an amendment that we think is very important.
You know, Jason Miller, I'm offended by that statement because his side, if he claims to be a Republican, our side, yours and my side, we've been offering up real solutions. It's not about how to ban firearms. It's about how to keep kids safe. And that is more armed security around, whether it's arming teachers, highly trained, voluntarily, but real solutions to fortify our schools. President Trump talked about it. The last word to you.
Yeah, and I would just say Adam Kinzinger, of course, is on that January 6th commission. Why aren't you in Chicago? Why are you actually doing something about the massive record-level number of homicides and shootings that city right up the road from you is seeing literally every single weekend? Why aren't you doing something about fortifying schools? Why aren't you doing something, Adam Kinzinger, about the mental health issues that are really to blame for when some of these nutcases go off and start shooting at people? This is absolutely just shows the Beltway mentality, the Beltway mindset. Grant, I'm going to say one thing here. For Adam Kinzinger, this is all about his application to go work at MSDNC or fake news CNN and nothing about any actual ideological underpinning.
Yeah, you better believe it. The CEO of GETTR, Jason Miller, as always, it's good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.